get some good news. Prophet Jeremiah.
Jeremiah said, like fire shut up in my body.
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yes, indeed.
That's the right word in the right language. But
Mm-hmm.
that English changed it to Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole history behind it. Like, to talk about them, it take a long time because they have done us a great job in hatred.
Yeah.
So our people, all individuals in the United States of America are at the highest level of unconsciousness. Mm-hmm. This ain't never been in the world.
Oh man, that ain't good.
Yes, for all this to go down, you have to be at a high level of unconsciousness.
Yeah.
So this means our oldest generation have been unconscious for this long, mm-hmm. that if they're not unconscious, mm-hmm. they've been turning the cheek. Mm-hmm. So if they've been turning the cheek for this long, this is why it's passed down, and now it's at the point where it's almost self-annihilation. Yeah. Because that's how important truth is. Yeah. That if you don't have this in your brain, you will go crazy. Yeah. Because you don't have an answer to life. Life is bigger than what's going on than Romans, Persians, Germans, anything false scripture. Life is bigger than all that. Yeah. This is what have turned the bigness of life into a micro, small minuteness, is these texts. Mm. They have told you that people are sinful, people are wrong, people are evil, people are born in sin. Okay. And that all these things have been passed down as ideals to us. Yeah. And that means that's in your psychology. Mm-hmm. And you cannot easily erase psychology. Mm. It's something called memory.
Yeah, that's right.
When you have memory, that means that can be recalled at any given time. Yeah. And if you live your life through a past memory, then you are subjugated and you are possessed. You don't have self-possession. Mm-hmm. So we are living 2,000-year-old ideology by waiting for somebody to come 2,000 years in the future. Yeah, right. So when you've been present for all this time, disobeying your own life and the gift of life that the Creator granted to all existence. Yeah. And now we've been psychically tricked by so-called psychopaths who the Sufa calls maniacs. Because this is what they are. They are not psychopaths, they are maniacs. These people are crazy. And the people that are crazy own everything right now. That's right. But they only own everything because the people are in a high level of unconsciousness. Mm-hmm. When the people wake up to consciousness, the corporation dissolve itself. Yeah. The United States corporation become bankrupt. Yeah. Their whole system is predicated upon unconsciousness. That's right. So the more one becomes self-aware, which is self-consciousness, the one becomes at one with the wisdom of Allah. Mm-hmm. This is what all has and been gifted. But since these scribes of hate has came on the scene since 10,000 BCE, and now we in 2023 CE, they still here. Mm-hmm. And so this means that it's been a lot of unconsciousness going on. And as the ages keep passing by, this is why it tells us in the very back, in a 16 year, 610, that wisdom is the light. 2023, you faintly hear this word. Your older people don't say it, which is a tragedy. To be in a calamity where people forget the importance of knowledge and wisdom is a calamity. And every generation underneath that will start experiencing the tsunami. Because this is what character building is. Yeah. We are here for character building, not character destroying. That's right. There you go. We are destroying our others by destroying ourselves. Yeah. When we point out a weak character of someone else, we destroying our own self. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing. Everything present is by the Creator. Yep. No one has the right or the audacity to say anything about anyone else because you didn't create existence. So if you didn't create the whole of existence, you didn't create everybody in it. So whoever created the whole of existence, this is is the consciousness. It's to get people back to this consciousness, and that's the highest, what is called the divine self, where you renounce renunciation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like to say one other thing before you start on Jeremiah is that all the elders right now, you can go to any church, and this is what they teaches you. They tell you if your enemy smite you on one side of your cheek, turn him the other and let him hit you. And then they say, love your enemy. But your enemy don't love you because he harmed you. Anybody that's harming you, how could you love that? You mean to tell me that somebody standing on your foot and you ain't got enough sense to tell him, oh man, you standing, he knows this, but you won't say anything, so he keeps standing on it until you holler. And last but not least, the majority of the elders now, they sitting there waiting on Jesus to come riding on a cloud to save us all. It's been taught and deeply rooted. If you think I'm lying, go to any church right now and ask who you waiting on and see what he tell you.
It's known. That's why in this time it's known. It is known. And especially the young people is knowing. They might not have the answers, but the truth is known at all times. That's why we here today, because of the truth. If the truth didn't exist, I know I wouldn't exist.
Right on.
So thanks to the great creator. Sufa 73, Jeremiah. Number 1, O people, there is no other deity but Allah. This is what we have been tricked right here. This very opening line to think there's many others.
Other gods. And there are many.
Gods, people, self, plants, animal things, anything in existence, we think that there's many creators.
Statues.
No, there's only one creator of this existence that we in.
That's right.
And the existence we in is the creator. It's himself.
That's right.
This is what has to be known. This is part of the mother side of the creator. This is called Mother Nature.
You read on beautiful.
When I say Allah is both masculine and feminine, this is what it means. The feminine part is the part that gives birth. Beautiful. Just like the woman is the part that gives birth.
Beautiful.
So we in a space where we evidently see birth is in existence. We can see birth come into existence. So we in the domain of the feminine and the mother of nature. But we don't understand due to the principle of there's many gods. And this is why Jesus was telling you there's only one. Just worship that. But the scribes kept re-referencing that. So by the time you get from that, you back at Jesus, so you think Jesus is talking about himself. But Jesus was never talking about himself. He didn't never say worship me or pray to me. He said in my name, if you ask, all shall be given. He didn't say pray in my name.
That's right.
He said as a prayer, our Father.
Oh, our Father.
So where does it return back to him? It doesn't. But in wrong, or AKA what we say, the Babel, Babel, is the same thing as Bible, Bible. So we have nothing but the third testament, which is the third Bible or Babel. These two things physically existed in existence.
That's right.
As you see through the history, but now the people over here don't know nothing about their history, so this make it the third testament.
Yeah.
That we worship is something we don't know. All this is said in the Middle East.
Sure is.
And we never been.
That's right.
And so what are we doing over here? So this is the point why,
makes sense.
yes, why self-awareness is self-wisdom and self-mastery. This is what our self-Lord and Master had all came for. But this was promulgated as a religion by the Romans and the Christians. These Jews who are Christians, and these Christians who are Jews, and Jews and Christians are Judeans.
Right on.
Judeans are the Aryans.
Look at that.
These are the people that come from the north or come from Atlantis, from the northern regions, up from the coldest areas.
That's correct.
Come down to us, to the southern areas or the equator or the tropics.
That's right.
And start bringing us their magical belief system.
That's correct.
This is why we have to understand why the prophets are in the Testament, the Old Testament, but we have to understand the true history of the prophets.
Right.
So here go the prophet Jeremiah of the Old Testament. Here is the truth of it. The truth of Jeremiah. Number 2, the compassionate, the beneficent, the gracious. 3, all glory and honor be to Allah and no other. 4, let the truth be now revealed concerning the great prophet Jeremiah. 5, may honor and peace be forever upon his name and his memory.
Look at that.
So we know this person is important. It didn't tell you to do this with Jerusalem, to do this with Antioch.
Sure didn't.
It tells you to do this with specifics. It says that just like Jesus, Jeremiah, all prophets, we are to put honor and to put peace be forever upon their name and their memory.
Yes, indeed. Peace be unto you.
See, because they came and lived just like we live.
We live right on.
But they laid it down when they lived.
Yeah.
They didn't fall to the shenanigans.
Yeah.
They wasn't hoodwinked. They wasn't bedazzled. Shanghai. They wasn't left out to dry.
Look at here.
So this is why they deserve the memory. So 6 here, who is Jeremiah? Jeremiah was the high priest of Yelb. Yelb is Elephantine Island. You know, that's where you get the word Job from. That's that word Job right there, Yelb. So that was all about the Elephantine Island, which you will find that's on the coast of the Nile River. So this was playing out just as the prophet Drew Ali told us in Egypt, that we will come to call it Egypt.
Yeah.
From the Greeks. So, but understanding the prophet Jeremiah was now what they call Moorish, which was called Egyptian in the past. Now we have 7, the friend of righteousness and truth.
Ain't that beautiful? Friend of righteousness
Friend.
and truth.
You can trust his words.
You ask the people today, are you a friend of righteousness and a friend of truth? If not, then you're the opposite. You're a friend of wrongdoing and a friend of lies and deception.
Of lies and deception. That's the opposite of righteousness and truth. And we know, though, knowledge is a true friend of faith of Allah.
That's right.
And ignorance is the evil. 8, the messenger commanded by Allah to warn who? The Yahudah of their doom. See? And who we came, we just went over the Yahudah.
Yahudah, yep. They was evil.
Yes. These are the people that understood what they was doing was wrong, as they call the exiles of the pharaohs. These are the Atlantis people, the descendants of the Yahudah. they're doomed for breaking the law of the Torah.
Yeah.
They said with their own literature and own mouth that they swore to destroy and to curse all culture on the planet.
And they're doing a wonderful job of that right now.
So this is why they getting talked to this way, and why in the Old Testament it's always like doomsday coming. Mm-hmm. Because it's some people bringing doomsday.
That's right.
Number 9, the custodian of the symbols of the Messiah kings. We know now that word king is the word angel. The word messenger goes to the word angels. Mm-hmm. See, these are things that we learn from the studious study to show that self-approval. These are the things that's in the words of the text. So Messiah is the Moorish, the king is the Malak. As we was told, what is an angel? Or what is a prophet? A thought manifested in the flesh by Allah. So when we talking about the thought, this came from Allah. And the symbols that we have under ourself, Lord and Master, is these symbols brought to us by Jeremiah. See, we've been told that it's been brought to us by another person, but it has not been. According to their literature, if you let them tell you, they tell you that the first 5 books is written by who? Moses. And they are called, and the first 5 books are called
the law.
The law of Torah.
That's right.
Or Torah. So now check this out. Number 9, the custodian of the symbols of the Messiah kings. 10, who returned the symbols to the holy priests. And that's where you'll find holy. That's who Muhammad connected to. That's who Jesus connected to. This is where all the prophets connected to. This little Hollywood word. You don't know where Hollywood come from. It come from this word right here, holly. Holly is where you get the word holy, holy, holy.
Look at this.
Holly is the Moorish Morabbas.
Look at that.
These are the ancient masters who conquered the seasons and the masters of architecture and science of the sacred island. Number 11, the messenger who brought forth the Torah.
Look at that.
The Torah was not brought by Moses. See, the people who wrote and gave the Bible will tell you that that came from Moses.
Yeah.
See, that's called tricknology.
Yeah.
This is misleading. So now everyone is misled thinking they know.
Yeah.
So now they walking around with this belief they know. So this is what they going to the grave with. Because they didn't know. They didn't think they didn't know to search it out.
Yeah, they thought they knew.
This is this is why I say their most powerful tool is belief. Because without belief don't need no study. Let's say it this way.
Yeah.
Belief don't need no study. So now when we say the belief, the only belief in Islam is that above all others is that the true name of the deity is Allah.
Look at that.
That's the only belief. Everything else is scholarship and study and all wise knowledge.
So now I see why they put in the New Testament, and that's where you'll find it at. And it says that he that believeth shall be saved. Look at that. What if you believe in the wrong thing? You gonna be saved behind that? And they preach this from the pulpit.
Yes, they do.
That he that believeth shall be saved. Belief is not no proof, no facts, nor truth. And the Sufa tells us that that's one of the greatest deception is the word believe. Because once upon a time, just to back belief up, I believe in Santa Claus once upon a time. And then once upon a time, I believe that Columbus discovered America. And they documented that belief. You see, this is what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing for not studying self. We don't know belief is like an awareness. So what you believe in, that's what you are aware of.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are going to the grave with this belief, which makes them aware of this, of that. So this is why the understanding has to be brought out and made clear. Because we at those times. The Aquarian age is the age of wisdom, and we haven't been receiving wisdom since 600s.
Boy, that's a long time.
And that's the 7th century.
That's a lot of centuries, man.
Right. That means we had to pass the 6th century, the 7th century, 8th century, 9th century, 10th century, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to get to where we at now. And you hardly hear the word wisdom.
My goodness.
This how long it took them to get over here to this land. So now that they here, now we suffering.
Yeah.
Because same thing they did everywhere else, turned their land dry.
Yeah.
The same thing they gonna do here if we don't wake up. Our land will be dry. Just like how they show the desert of Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let them stay here long enough, they'll suck it dry.
Yeah.
The people will be gone and the resources will be gone.
Yeah, you can see it. And they pollute us because they, everywhere they go, they filter the rivers, they filter the air, they filter the sea. Who would take garbage and dump it into the sea? And all the rivers that they built them cities by, sewage is going into the rivers. Ain't gonna be no clean or fresh water by the time they get through. You finish your.
And this is what we have to keep in mind. I don't attend to any of this what I'm reading about them.
Yeah.
So when it comes to self is not in these situations.
Right.
So that's why self is able to bring out the teachings, because I'm not in the work field or in those
imperialism.
Yeah, I'm not externally forced by any man or woman. So now when we come into understanding, this is why it says in the Bible that the father of the devil, that he is the father of the devil.
That's what he said.
And he has been sinning since the beginning.
That's right.
And that he has not known his beginning. And so he'll keep sinning. So we have a line right here backing that up. Their anger and hatred against Allah has no end. So for myself, I can't keep spending time talking about them. Because it has no end. They've been doing it since 10,000 BC.
That makes sense.
What I'm not hearing is about your soul, what you gonna do, and how you gonna make the change.
Beautiful.
And so this is what KOS about: self-responsibility and self-accountability.
Right on.
You have the chance to change yourself.
Right on.
You don't have to wait on the world. You don't have to wait on the family. You don't have to wait on the community. You don't have to wait on religion to be rewritten and to be rewritten. You can happen today. Through the active participation of doing the teachings of the knowledge of self. This is the self-government. So when we're talking about government, the only government is self-government, which it always been.
Right on.
So this is what has been taken away from us and been given that privilege to a government. Now they have the right to give you a privilege or take it away.
Or take it away or tax you to death.
Called welfare system. And do we know Rome thrives off a welfare system? That means they have conquered the people and have the people fully subjugated, as they say, in the palm of their hand. And it's called the kingdom of Christ. This is the final episode. So my last number, the messenger who brought forth the Torah. And what we did know about the Torah that they so-called Moses brought, that was the law of Allah. So the whole thing that people been talking about with Moses is the law of Allah called a Musallim.
Look at that.
And this is what was supposed to be told of us, but we didn't know none of that. And so now we find out Jeremiah brought the Torah. And the Torah is the law of Allah, also known as the Torah.
Yeah.
So this been around for some time.
Yeah.
And the people that's been claiming the Holy Quran and ain't teaching this right here, the Torah, this is what we have in there. The 144 characters of wisdom is the walking Torah. These ancient names that you got, like Khalik, and those are Torah names. These are the divine names from our prophets left behind when they lived and was in existence, just like you in existence.
Right on.
And they're not experiencing death how everybody else is experiencing death, because they left the way for us not to experience death, but to experience eternity.
Right on.
So eternity is in the midst of us, but only belief can turn it away.
That's right. Beautiful. Well said. Well said.